The Ghost of Fossil Glen, Chapter 18. May 3rd, 1994. We're still in Lucy's diary. Dear Diary, tonight I was watching TV and Gagme and Mom were talking in the other room. Suddenly I heard Mom say, "No," kind of loud. That's what got my attention, 'cause she usually doesn't say no to him. I started listening. He was acting all lovey-dovey, smoochy-smoochy, saying, "Please, honey, just sign it." And she said, "I'll have to think about it." And then he acted real hurt and sad. "You don't trust me." And she said, "Of course I do, but I think you should finance it with your own money." And he said, "How am I supposed to be successful if you don't have confidence in me?" And Mom said, "Lucy's father left the money for her, so I can take care of her and educate her. I wouldn't feel right risking her inheritance in a real estate deal," he said. "But there's no risk. This is a sure thing. You'll get the money back 20 times over." Mom said, "But John left the land to Lucy, really. And she told you she doesn't want to sell it. You know how she feels about that Glen. It was a special place for her and her father." Like, Gagme cares. Anyway, it went on, and finally Mom said, "Let's watch TV with Lucy." And he sat there and sulked like a little baby. I swear. But I was thinking, good for Mom. May 16th. Dear Diary, I think I'm onto something big. Today I went into Gagme's office to see if there were any paper clips in his desk. It's not that I was snooping or anything. I mean, it's our desk he's using. And in the drawer I found sheets of paper covered with my mom's signature, except she didn't write it. Why would she be practicing writing her own name? It was Gagme, writing her name over and over and over. There were some old checks there he must have been copying from, and he was getting pretty darn good at forging her signature. So I kept looking around. I know it's bad to peek at people's private stuff, but I figured this is war. There was a big bunch of papers from a bank in Rhode Island with all these blank lines for a co-signer's signature. They were marked with red X's. Those must be the papers Gagme was trying to get Mom to sign. And since she wouldn't, he's going to sign them himself, which means he's going to go ahead with his crummy project, promising the bank our money and planning to sell our land. I have to show Mom. He didn't actually forge her signature on the papers yet, but it's pretty obvious what he's thinking about. Oh, Mom's calling me. More later. Bad news. I left you out on my desk when Mom called me. I thought I'd be right back, but she wanted me to go to the store with her. Darn. I can't believe it. I've been so careful to hide you up until now. When we got home, Gagme was here, and this is the bad part. I'm pretty sure he found you and read everything I've written. He was upstairs when we came home, where he doesn't really have any business being. I mean, he doesn't live here. You were over near the corner of my desk. That's not where I left you. But the worst thing was the way he looked when he came downstairs. He watched Mom and me real hard for a minute, as if he wondered if I already told her what he's up to. And then he stared at me for the longest time, and his eyes were, oh, I can hardly describe how they looked, dark and empty and cold. It was like looking into a deep poisoned well. I've never liked him, dear Diary. You know that. But I wasn't afraid of him until now. So now Gagme knows that she knows he's going to try to do this without her mom's permission by forging her name. May 17th, dear Diary. I told Mom about the papers, but when we looked in the desk, they were gone, of course. Mom cried and said she doesn't know if it's true or if I'm making it all up. She said, why don't you think he was just doodling? Then she said, he actually signed the papers, did he? He didn't actually sign the papers, did he? Which makes me mad, because why doesn't she believe me? Why does she take his side? Then she said that either way, she doesn't see how she can get married, which should make me happy, I guess, but I just feel crummy. She told Gagme the wedding is off, at least for now. She didn't say anything about the papers on her signature or any of that. She just said they had to wait until he and I could get along. He said, "You're going to let that brat," he almost said brat, but caught himself in time, "that child decide if you should get married or not? Did you ever consider that she's jealous of me and will do anything she can to prevent the wedding?" And then Mom asked him to leave, and he tried to apologize and make up. And she said she was tired and they would talk about it tomorrow. And at that moment, I was sure I could read his mind. He thinks I'm ruining all his plans. He thinks everything would be perfectly fine if I wasn't around. He wishes he could get rid of me. I remember his eyes and the way they looked at me, and I think he would get rid of me if he could figure out a way to do it, if he thought he could get away with it. I'm scared. Allie put down the diary with shaking hands. That was Lucy's last entry. She died the following night.